All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who lead and rule well and teach well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there that's striving for salvation during these electrifying and exciting times. And if you sisters tuning in, I say shalom to you too. And I want to do a quick video on idol worship, idolatry, that sort of thing, because that was us mixing, because we went into this at camp in Orlando camp this past weekend. We touched and went into this about mixing with the other nations, because our people were not ever supposed to mix with the other nations. So when you go back to two individual Israelites during the time of like the civil rights movement type era, when you had different different so-called African American groups, like you had the Nation of Islam, then you had the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King was pushing that. He was pushing integration, and Malcolm X was pushing segregation. The gist of their purposes of what they were trying to do amongst the so-called Negroes, African American, black, communities or whatnot, depending on what you were classified at that time, like as far as being people of color, so-called Negroes. They through the years the definition, the byword has been changed from time to time regarding you Israelites, especially they of the Southern Kingdom. So, you had different movements being pushed, and even though neither one of them were true prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and men of the Lord, according to the scriptures, they had messages that they were placing out there for you Israelites to follow and take hold of. And me personally, just off the research and the things that I've known from the two of them, even before I came into truth, I personally would sided with Malcolm X, because I just thought that he was more of a stand-up type of man. I thought he had more integrity, and this is before I even knew all the stuff that I ended up finding out about Martin Luther King. I just felt that Martin Luther King was primarily for having our people join up with the so-called white man and the other nations, other races, and at that particular time, we as black people, we needed to unify our own communities, unify our own people before even trying to unite with another nation or be linked up and clicked up with other nations. And this is before I came into truth. That's just how I felt, because when I was a kid, you had all these different fight the power movements, black power, and people was running around with dashikis and Pan African wear on, with the necklaces of Africa, and rocking the African colors, and just being so-called pro black, And then I felt like Malcolm X was straightforward. His speeches was, before I came into truth, I thought his speeches were pretty impactful, and then when he started to, come to his end, he started to wake up, and he started making speeches out there. You can look them up. He was basically telling people, you the Israelites, you guys chosen people, you the people of the book. So he started to really get closer into bringing out more of the truth between the two. But nevertheless, our people were impacted by the idolatry that was pushed out there by the so-called white man, all the pagan holidays and things of this nature. So I'm going to read this the online etymology online, the word idol. It's an image of a deity as an as an object of pagan worship. Idols, graven images, pagan gods, and that's all things that everything you see that our people worship or take part of is all paganistic idol worship, graven images. Whether it's a tattoo on that they have placed on themselves, or some type of graven image, or some type of symbolism that symbolizes some type of worship, or they're wearing some type of jewelry that signifies an idol worship, and a graven image, whether it's a cross, a ankh, or whatever it is that they find themselves in. Pan-Africanism, even Judaism with the shield of David or the Star of David. It says image, mental or physical. So that's the thing. You can mentally be worshiping things, and you can be physically worshiping by carrying these types of idols on your body or on yourself, on your person. Form, especially apparitions, ghosts, because our people are, especially the Northern Kingdom, y'all all into, the voodoo, even Southern Kingdom, especially the tribes of Levi, the holy priest of the nation. They're heavily into, voodoo and black magic and Santeria, for the Northern Kingdom, and all these different left hand side worships. Used in church Latin for false god, image of a pagan deity, as an object of worship, and that's huge. That is extremely huge, man. All the false gods, all these false gods that our people worship. Our people worship these false gods, these paganistic deities, and it's all just to lead you away from worshiping the true power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says mental images, apparitions, phantoms, material images, statues. All this falls under pagan idols. Forms of shape, likeness, resemblance. People will gather things of what they want it to be, and what they'll do is they'll that's what they'll do. They'll take something as if what it is that it symbolizes and what it means to them, and then they'll reshape it, form it to be in something, that's supposed to be, spiritual, and they worship that. It says image used in Jewish and early Christian writers for image of false gods, hence also false gods. Form of God to false gods, hence images of false gods. All this is all idolatry, all idols. When you go down to the definition, it says a material effigy that is worship. Any type of figure that you classify as be something that you want to use, that you want to worship that. Someone who adored blindly and excessively, and people do that. Let somebody necklace with the cross on the break. They break down like they God just got broken or something. So anyway, let's get into the scriptures. This is Deuteronomy 5 and start at verse 7. It says, thou shalt have none other gods before me. Thou shalt not make thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth. So any phases of the physical or the spiritual, like anything in anything in the heavens, starting from, let's go to the spiritual world, right? The spiritual realm, that's taking like the images of the Most High or the angels, especially if you're depicting them as falsely, like Esau does. The Most High is so-called white. The angels are so-called white. The Lord is white. And they have these images of them butt naked and Most High touching Adam's finger. You know, these things are, and then people put it in as a mural in their house or in their business or especially in these churches, and people worship it. They worship it as if it's actually a true image or a true thing to be worshipped. But it's not. So for one, it's wrong. It's a false image, and you're not supposed to worship that. It's okay to have it's okay to have like a picture of something that is truthful, like the definition is given of of the scriptures. Of like we have a, like me personally, I have on my phone, my screensaver is a picture of Yahweh Shai. I don't worship that. I don't worship the image of it, but I keep it on my phone as what? As a way of truth, of promoting the truth, because it's the true image of him. Doesn't mean he looks like that. Doesn't mean he's gonna come looking and visualizing as that image that I have on my phone. But it's just me honoring my king. This is my king. It's not even about the image. It's about who he is and what he represents and what he means to me and my nation. But it's not to be worshipped. The worshiping comes with the actions that you do according to the truth. Are you following the scriptures to the best of your ability? Are you doing these things in sincerity and spiritual, in spirit and in truth? And when he comes, your knees gonna bend, your head's gonna bow, and your knees are gonna bend, and you're gonna worship him because that reference belongs to him. Verse 8. Actually, it's like it. Let me finish verse 8. So also anything in the earth and the heavens, like when you look up in the first heavens, the sky, you see the clouds and stuff. You see birds, any fowls. You're not supposed to make an image of that. There's people that worship certain types of birds, like the animalistic a symbol for America is the eagle. And people worship that. People get that flag and that eagle and those 13 stars and stripes, and they worship that. They put that on their house and all over on their cars. That's something that they, over my cold dead body, and they love it, especially Edomites. And then also the same thing with on the earth and beneath. So beneath the waters, the same thing. Verse 9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. And one of that's a commandment that I'm reading right now. That's a part of the law you want, Exodus the 20th chapter. And I believe it's like maybe like the fourth verse or something, the third or fourth verse. It's just a rewriting of what I just read. Salakia. What I just read of not having no other gods before him. Let's go with Malachi. So the thing about it is people think that they come up with all these different religions and stuff that, are different ways to worship the Most High, that's okay, that he's okay, that he'll accept that. Like calling upon the true name, but people think, oh, well, we speak English, so you can call on Jesus. That don't mean that. That means basically the Most High is going to show you the true name to call upon. You don't just call upon what you want to call upon because you think that the Most High is going to accept it. This is Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed, which means he doesn't change. That means the calling of his name is not going to change. Worshiping him is not going to change. He's not going to change it up and let you worship somebody else now, because we're 2,000 years removed from the time that the Lord came on the scene. Or all this time that went by, now it's okay to open up to worship whatever you want, and whatever image of what you're worshiping, you can worship. That's not going to change. What's going to change is you being able to be safe. You're moving into the danger zone. and he's gonna put judgment on you for what? For you worshiping someone else before him. This is Hebrews 13:8 for you people out there that may be watching it that love to just say, oh, that's the Old Testament. Well, it's written in the New Testament as well. This is Hebrews 13:8. It says Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever. So that means he doesn't change. If he's the same yesterday, which is the past, the same today, which is the present, and forever is the future, that means he ain't going to change at all. We are to worship him in spirit and truth. We're supposed to worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, no other God before him, no other deity, no other image, no other idolatry or idols. Verse 8, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, because that's where that comes from. That strange doctrine represents a strange woman. That strange woman is another philosophy or religion. That's a spiritual fornication. I mean, you basically being intertwined or joined unto another religion, another God. For it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. So you joining yourself with these strange women, taking on these diverse, these wayward doctrines and these religions, these strange doctrines, it's not going to profit you. Those that occupy yourself with that. That's why we that's why we ain't supposed to be mingling with these other like the Black conscious community, the Egyptologists. If you know somebody, a family member of yours that's a Muslim, and he got the Quran, you ain't supposed to try to be hearing out what he talking about in the Quran. All this other, you ain't supposed to indulge in that, because you're going to occupy your time in that, which time away from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, every moment, every minute that you put time into another doctrine. Now, it's one thing if you have a foundation and you're rooted and grounded in the truth, and you're using this to edify the truth. Like you may, because we go into other books as well. We go into we may use, the Quran to prove that the scriptures is the true book, because it tells you in the Quran that the Israelites are God's chosen people. It tells you that we are the people of the book. It tells you that to worship the Most High, worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, meaning worship the God of the Israelites. It tell you that, so you can use that as to help as solidify edification of the truth. But to go reading into the Quran to get an understanding of the book or whatever, you occupying your time with something that will not profit you, but will punish you. This is Psalms 96. I'm starting at verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols. That's why we weren't supposed to join unto these other nations. That's why when the Most High had us go into a nation's land to put them to death, to destroy them, and to take no parts with them, because they're gonna lead you away in worshiping in the gods that they worship and the idols. So all the gods of the nations are idols. So any other nation, whatever they're worshiping is idol, because they're not gonna worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto the Lord, O ye kindreds of the people, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Meaning, put your time and your effort into this truth, not into another doctrine. That's your glory and that's your strength as you grow in this faith, in this truth. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name, meaning worship and praise Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the name that we are supposed to give the glory unto. That is due. Why? Because there's well, it says give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Why? Because he makes everything happen for you, good or bad. And believe it or not, whatever comes your way that appears and seems to be that seems to be bad, is nothing but growth and strength. Because he that got you in it will get you out of it and get you growing from it. Anything he puts you through, it's like they got sayings in the world, like, right, like pain is weakness leaving the body, things like that. The bottom line is, if the Most High wants you to grow, he wants you to get stronger, he takes you through something. Because he got some strength for you that he want to give to you, but you got to earn it. How do you earn it? When he put the fire on you, he put them trials on you, that fiery trials on you, that you don't break, bend, or fold, that you stay strong, and that you, Lord willing, take it a cheerful heart, because it's you knowing he's giving you, he's putting that on you for you to grow. But at times, man, it be heavy. It be some hard things that he takes you through. But when you get through it, you've grown from it. And you got to praise him for that. It's building up your faith, making you stronger, everything you endure. It's bring an offering and come into his courts. Oh, worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. See, other nations, there are other religions out there, other doctrines, and all these different philosophies and stuff that's pushed out there, mainly pushed by the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, and you other nations out there. You don't promote fear. The so-called white man does not promote fear, because he does not have fear. He has pride. He's not humble. They don't push fear. They push confidence. They push prosperity. There's nothing to fear in a prosperity doctrine. It's only that's a prospering doctrine. Anything you're gonna prosper from, there's no reason to fear from it. You got Jake out here just talking about I'm sanctified by the blood of Jesus, highly favored, and all this sayings they got. They got them all. How you doing? I'm blessed. Blessed and highly favored from the blood of Jesus, and all this yin yang madness that they push and say. They don't have no fear. They have pride. They walk in the proud ways because they have all that what? They have all that them gifts that's destroying their hearts. So the scriptures tell you a gift destroyed the heart. They're not of a broken heart and a contrite spirit, roughly paraphrasing. They don't have no ways or reasons to fear the Most High, because the Most High has not executed judgment upon them, and they haven't been taught the fear of the Most High. But fear is the beginning of knowledge. If they get themselves into the book and read it for themselves, and not go to church and then some guy gonna read to them, gonna read a cheat sheet for them, because that's all the pastors read. They're like a cheat sheet, cheating for what? For the prosperity doctrine, or a doctrine, period. Or they reading from some type of denomination, which means they only push a certain thing that they push. There's no reason to have a fear for that. You're going to have pride. Verse 10, say among the heathens that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. So, man, let's examine that. It says, say among the heathens that the Lord reigneth. That's what you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to say. That's what you're supposed to believe. It says, the world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He that judged the people righteously. And that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. See, right now, the so-called white man, he's in power. But when the scriptures talk about, New Jerusalem coming down, that's talking about new rulership coming down. The Most High is going to judge the people in righteousness. So anyone that perish or receive that harsh judgment is going to be righteous. That meaning that well-deserved. Because these people will have no cloak for their sin, because they've been worshiping false idols. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar, and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful, and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the woods rejoice. Now, identifying the sea roar, and the sea and the trees represent the people. Sea represents people, trees represent people. Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness and the people with his truth. And he's judging the world now. He has all his prophets out there. And the amount of brothers that are coming out and that's been joining unto this truth that the Most High has been waking up, you clearly can see that he's judging this place. And the judgment begins with his mouthpiece, or before anything that he do, he tell you he's gonna do it. So he got his men out there that goes out week in and week out, that's prophesying, letting you know that he's gonna come with the physical judgment. Right now it's just a verbal judgment. You're being warned, but it's gonna turn to a physical judgment. Oops, like this is Psalms 106 and 33. Because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathens and learned their works. And that's what's going on to this very day. Our people are mingled amongst the heathens, learning their works and their ways, customs and a heritage that's not your heritage, custom that is not your custom, traditions that are not belonging unto you, but theirs. Because what did the scripture say earlier? We read that all the gods of the nations are all the gods of the heathens are idols. We're not supposed to worship them, and they serve their idols, which were a snare unto them. Snare unto who? Snare unto you Israelites, from the southern and northern kingdom. You so-called blacks, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, all you so-called Israelites out there, though they of Negro descent, Latino, Hispanic descent, Native American descent. You Cubans out there, you so-called Cubans, you so-called Mexicans, you so-called Puerto Ricans, all of y'all, that come from North, South, and Central America. But the bulk of y'all is who he's talking about. Y'all are God's chosen people. And y'all the ones that are most lost on the planet, proving that you're God's chosen people. You're the ones that take the idols of the other nations and you promote it to bigger idolization. You make the idolatry even heavier and stronger because you flock to their religions and their doctrines and their and things that they believe. You push them more than the other nations do. Verse 36. They served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. And that's what our people do. You're sacrificing your sons and your daughters. Why? By teaching them these other nations' ways. By teaching them things that either you came into this because you was taught that, or because you learned that and you taught that to your children. When the scriptures say we're supposed to do this and that, so forth and so on throughout your generations, meaning teach your sons and your daughters the ways of the scriptures, not the ways of another book, not the ways of another nation's religions. So with that, I just wanted to do this video because it's a lot of this is going on. It's going to go on even heavier and stronger as they continue to so-called open up certain states where people can get back to social gathering and coming and going to church, because they can't wait. These churches can't wait for you to be able to come back into church and not have to worship online or log into, because a lot of them, these churches they're not getting those tithes, or they're getting those tithes only from people that are truly committed to paying their tithes. But people haven't really been doing all that. People have been tuning in when they want to. They can just go to whatever website their church is and then watch the sermon or whatever, watching online. They can't wait to get you back into those churches, so you can get back to paying tithes and offers every week, so they can send that collection plate in front of your face. So with that, I want to just say all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who lead, rule, and teach well, and peace and salutations to the whole full elect. Shalom.